Good evening. We'll call to order the Town Council meeting for Monday, December 2nd. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and after the Pledge of Allegiance, if you just remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of the passing of Governor Jody Rell. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The second item on our agenda is public comment. This portion of the meeting is specifically set aside for comments from the public, who are asked to limit their comments to 2 minutes. Any person interested in providing public comment via email should email publicmeetings@rockyhillct.gov prior to 4 p.m. on the day of the meeting to have their public comment read into the record. And just for the record, Councilor Levine and Councilor Thoreau have joined us remotely. You see? Oh, I see Councilor Levine at least on the screen. Okay. Mr. Smith.
Yeah, Councilor Thoreau's on too. I see her.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Alan Smith, 112 Old Main Street. Looks like we don't have too crazy of an agenda today, so I'll keep this short, but not to beat a dead horse, but I think the last time I was up here, I was talking about artistic crosswalk. So that was a policy that was approved, I believe, August 26th, which the next step was to receive a form to be able to make a proposal for doing a piece of public art, and that was supposed to come within a couple weeks. It has now been a few months.
It's online.
Is it available online now?
Past 3 weeks.
It has been up there for 3 weeks? All right, well, can we make that aware to everybody else then?
Just did.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you to the town manager. All right. Hey, we already accomplished something today. Thank goodness. But also, I look forward to hearing about speed limits and stuff today too. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Joanne, do we have anybody that submitted anything remotely? No. Okay. Move on to appointments and resignations. Councilor O'Sullivan?
None on this side.
Councilor Prakash?
None.
Okay. Entertain a motion for approval of the minutes from November 18th.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll abstain as I was not at that meeting.
Okay, thank you. Subcommittee reports. The Finance Subcommittee has not met since our last council meeting. We're scheduled to meet on December 12th at 6 p.m. Government Operations?
Government Operations has not had a meeting since our last town council meeting, as they're not scheduled to. We are next scheduled to meet on Monday, December 16th at 5 p.m. remotely.
Thank you. Public Safety?
Public safety, last meeting was held, the town council meeting last time, and just before the town council, and we have our next meeting on the third Monday, just before the next town council meeting. Thank you.
Senior Liaison meets quarterly, so we have not met since the last council meeting. Land Acquisition and Farmland Preservation?
We did meet on November 26th. We had a presentation from the UConn students about the Rocky Hill Community Farm. They discussed everything from wildlife, plants on the site, walking trails, the farmland usage. They had some results back from their survey. We had about 230 people respond. A lot of the desires from the survey was for outdoor activities, walking, hiking, picnicking, gathering, educational classes outside. We did get 55 people are interested in community garden plots. So our subcommittee over the next month or two will be further discussing what improvements we could use from their report, but it was very helpful. That's it.
Thank you. Liaison to the State Rep and State Senator.
There we go. Did not get any updates, assuming with the holiday and everything. Did not get any updates from State Senator Lester or State Representative Wood.
Thank you. School Liaison?
No report. Thank you.
Okay. Capital Improvement Subcommittee is scheduled to meet this week on the 4th at 5 p.m. and the Economic Development Subcommittee does not have a meeting scheduled at this time. We have no items on the consent agenda, so we'll move on to, we have no old business, and we'll move on to new business. Presentation, townwide speed limit analysis. Steve Sobolak.
Good evening and happy holidays to all. Steve Soplak, Town of Rocky Hill. Today I am wearing the hat of Legal Traffic Authority. So I want to talk to you about a couple items that some people give a lot of thought to, others don't, and one of them is our speed limits. And speed limits, that falls under this State of Connecticut General Statute, Section 14-218A. And it states the Office of the State Traffic Administration, also known as OSTA, has the sole authority to approve speed limits on all roads, whether they're state or town, not private, of course, but state or town roads. Any road that is not listed on their approved lists, basically aren't enforceable. So if you have a road out there that says 35 and it's not on OSTA's list, it's not enforceable. So I'm not giving you a list of roads. Somebody might go looking for a ticket from years ago. If there's signs up that were not approved, you have to remove them until such time that they're approved. And a lot of people always say, oh, if it's not posted, it's 25 miles an hour. That's kind of generally the policy, but OSTA will not approve a speed limit under 25 miles an hour unless there's extenuating circumstances. And then as of 10/1/2021, they passed a Public Act 21-28, so the town Legal Traffic Authority could do the same job as they do and approve speed limits. And one, you need a council resolution to do that. Two, the town accepts all liability and responsibility. You have to follow the OSTA procedure and a bunch of other items. So in order to approve a speed limit in the state of Connecticut, it's a 100 some odd page manual. So we decided that it's best for them to do this. The reason this came up is when I became the director, I was going through just a bunch of data, and I, for some reason, clicked on approved speed limits in the town of Rocky Hill, and there's only about half our roads listed. Let me just get that number here. Yeah, there's 108 segments of road, and I say segments because, say, Parsonage Street is split by Silverstein Highway, so segment east and segment west. So out of 228 road segments we have in town, only 106 were approved by the state. Now, the state will not approve roads under 500 feet in length, generally like 500 feet in length, like cul-de-sacs or a little cut through. That's there's one Litchfield Drive that's over. It's about a couple hundred feet long, so they won't post. So, as I said, if you don't have those speed limits, those roads aren't enforceable, and we get a lot of complaints about speeding, and why isn't anything being done? Upon further study, I noticed that the majority of the roads that weren't posted, or weren't approved, I should say, were on the western side of town, which is newer development since the 80s and beyond. So, I'm backing up a little bit here. Every time a road is built and accepted by the town council, it gets recorded. It gets accepted, recorded downstairs in the town clerk's office. Once a year, the state will send a letter to. It usually goes to the mayor, highest elected official, which then comes to me, and you fill out, and you have to fill it out whether you accepted any roads or not. Whether you accepted a road, discontinued a road, the length. The state will come out and drive it, verify it, and then they add it to their accepted roads list, which is what our state reimbursement is based on for roads. So our roads are up to date, but somewhere in that process, what got lost was the speed limits. So, and let's see, back in May of 2023, I reached out to DOT and asked them what I need to do. So I had to fill out forms. And you can only put 5 roads on each form, so 5 times, into 100 some odd segments. So there's a whole bunch of forms, went to the state. They got it in June of 2023. In September of 2024, they completed their study. So it took them over a year to study all these roads. They said it was the biggest request they ever got. And they added 47 segments. Many of the other roads are too short, so they didn't add them. So, but now we're compliant with speed limit signs and reporting to the state. One thing we did do, as I said, under 25 miles an hour, extenuating circumstances, over on what we call the lake area off of New Britain Ave, where Lake Avalon used to be. It's Lake Drive, Beach, Park. Those are very narrow, windy, steep, and they deemed that we could post those at 15. And as I said, for them to set the speed limits, long process, because they have this book, and there's probably 10 different items they come out. They actually physically come out and drive the road. They take measurements of embankment and cross slopes and a bunch, and then they also have they review the type of road, the functional classification, geometry, pedestrian activities, crash history, sight lines, and they also have a computer program that they might use if needed. So it is a very lengthy process, but as I said, that's up to date. So that's item 1. Any questions on that?
Steve, when you have a street where there's been no speed limit posted, I assume that the police still have discretion to post someone over for, reckless driving, based on kind of a subjective sense that the driver's driving too fast or inappropriately?
Yeah, you can't get a speeding ticket. Reckless driving, maybe, I don't know, but because there's no posted speed limit, unless, I said, it's ones that they don't post because they're too short of a road. But boy, you got to be moving pretty close, 0 to over 500 feet. But yes, I would think they could do something other than a speed limit.
Just thank you, recognize you for seeing the problem and what you had to do to correct it. Thank you.
And thank the state for taking the time. They were kind of taken aback when I sent them like 20 sheets and all these roads. And like I said, it took them over a year to do all this research and come out and drive the roads and all that. So we're compliant with that. Any other questions on the speed limits? All right, we'll move ahead to,
Let's go to item B, presentation, no-through truck signage.
yeah. So no through trucks. Again, OSTA is the only authority who can prohibit through trucks on any public road in the state of Connecticut. If you post one and it's not approved by OSTA, it's unlikely it will be upheld in a challenge in Superior Court. And this is coming from their attorneys at DOT. So the way you get these approved is you make application, they come out, they review, give you a yay or nay. And the reason I looked at this is we have 6 roads that are approved. They are Church, Kobe Road, Hangdog Lane, Hayes Road, Old Main, and Orchard. And, well, Through Street is, first of all, Through Street is, you have no destination anywhere in town except to leave. Hence, Kobe Road, you're leaving town. Hangdog Lane, you're going from Rocky Hill to Weathersfield. Same with Hayes. Old Main, you're leaving town. Orchard, you're leaving town. We have 5 that were approved in the 70s and another in 1989. In 1978, the town council had an ordinance naming 5 roads for truck restrictions. They are Forest, Dividend, Brook, Henkel, and Capitol, but they don't show up on the state's list. I've been going back and forth with the state for about a year on this, and they've come back basically saying they can't be through streets. I mean, they can't be posted as no through streets. We have to take the signs down. And as I said, that was back in June of 2024. I sent them a letter with aerial photos of Brook, Henkel, Capitol, aerial photos of Dividend and Forest. There was a court decision, 2 of them as a matter of fact, for C. White Trucking, which I think they have a different name now, I'm not sure what they are, but, and JV3. who sued the town and others regarding those no-through trucks, saying, you know, you're impeding our business. And the town won. So for the state to say these won't be held up in Superior Court, well, they were. So my proposal was rejected in August. In September, we got our town attorney involved. He wrote a letter to OSTA in October. We had a Zoom, face-to-face Zoom meeting with them in November with the town attorney, myself, the DOT, the OSTA's director, and 2 attorneys from the DOT. And basically, they reiterated that, no, we can't have no through trucks, even though that court case was in our favor. But they did say that we could have the roads posted, we can restrict trucks due to weight restrictions. So I'm awaiting their draft decision. This was a verbal, so I'm awaiting the draft decision on that to say we can move forward with that. Part of that decision verbally was we're gonna have to change the language of the ordinance, because the ordinance doesn't say weight restrictions. Let me read you real quick what it said. No person shall operate any truck on forest except while on a trip with a point of origin from destination on forest. No person shall operate a truck, any truck on that section of Dividend north of Woodland except while on a trip with a point of origin or destination on said section of Dividend Road. And the other 2 are very similar. What we have to do is change the language in our ordinance. So this is, we have to reopen those things to say that it's due to weight restriction, not no through trucks because of any other reason. So that's something that we might be looking to come back for in the future. As for Capitol, Henkel, and Brook, those are a no-go per the state. So we have to take those signs down. And I know there's issues with Henkel and trucks going through there. I'm working with the state on trying to install directional signs. And again, they're very strict on that. So what we want to do is have at the end of exits, something to the fact that Rocky Hill Industrial Park access off of Route 3 or access off of Cromwell Avenue, point arrows. So I'm trying to work with them on getting those signs up. If you go some of those exits now, there's 10 signs, so they'll probably get lost in the shuffle. But, so, any questions on that? On the new no-through trucks.
Down at down at Dividend and whatnot.
Yep.
What's your concern? I mean, it's a business area down there. It's construction company.
North of 4th Street, it's all residential, except on the one corner. But after that, you have a 55 and older community and a bunch of narrow roads with residential. And then you also have access to one condo complex that comes out on Woodland, and then there's another condo complex that's in and out only off of Dividend Road. Plus, we have the town green, which we're trying to enhance as we have a grant for that coming forward. So we're trying to work some enhancements there to tie in the green cemetery and just do some nice stuff there. So trying to keep the traffic down north of Forest. South of Forest, fine. And that was what the case was, is they wanted to go down Forest, and the case, the Supreme Court case that found in favor of the town was they can't use Forest to access.
So you're doing the same thing for Brook, like?
Brook, there's nothing that we can really cite. I understand that that's residential from 99 to Henkel, but they're not moving on Brook, Henkel, Capitol. The other 2, they'll hear us with the weight restriction because there was that court case. And they'll say, okay, you can put the weight restrictions and we'll allow that because we can't dictate the weight restrictions.
So Steve, the weight restrictions are, what are we talking about as a weight restriction?
Well,
Is it 26,000 pounds? or-
yeah, I'd have to go look at the sign. I can't picture off the top of my head. But back in 2000 when I came to town, there was a bridge on Dividend that was in dire need of repair, and it was repaired basically 2021, 22. That road was closed. And that was when they put that first weight restriction up because of that bridge. It's been rebuilt. It can withstand the traffic, but we can just keep that weight restriction there, but we have to change that ordinance.
Steve, I know we've had discussions. So according to the state, you cannot look at the makeup of the neighborhood,
No,
the density of
No.
the residential.
it's their definition. Let me see if I can find that definition here real quick.
I find it's problematic to allow trucks on Forest and also parts of that eastern portion of Brook, as we've discussed. over
I agree.
the year.
I agree, but this is the definition. A through truck is a truck that passes through a municipality without having an origin, destination, or scheduled stop in that municipality. If a truck has an origin, destination, or scheduled stop within that municipality, it's not a through truck. So if you're coming down one end of Brook Street to the other and you're going somewhere and stopping in town, so they're saying, you have a destination. That's what I'm saying, it's the roads that lead out of town, Kobe, Old Main, Hayes, those are the ones that they're allowing, Hangdog. And Weathersfield, most of Weathersfield, they're also designated no through trucks, and Weathersfield can't come in to town. So that's basically the gist of it. There's a whole bunch more, but that's the gist of it. They consider it, if you have a stop, you can go down 4th Street, like Counselor Whalen said, and there's an industrial park. So you come in off the highway, go down West Street, crazy little S-turn, go up and over 4th Street, and right across the street is, the fuel docks there for Citgo or whatever they're called. That's the destination in town. You could say the same thing, Brook Street. You're coming north on 99, take a left on the Brook, you go down the way, take a right, and you're going to Henkel with a semi. It's a destination town. That's why they won't recognize no through street. Yeah, they don't take into consideration the surroundings in general. And they did make site visits to look at them. They field verified everything I sent them. So we could probably get 2, but we're probably gonna have to remove 3 to be in compliance.
Is there complaints from the public about this? Why?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've heard from numerous, basically Dividend and on the Henkel Road. Those are the 2 biggest complaints. Those two.
So basically, does that have the trucks trapped there or to them? Have we tried to?
For years with, they'll call BJ's, used first,
Yeah.
to have them go to Route 3 and down, and if they've come here before, they will do that. The problem is your GPS. And I don't know how you get the GPS to change that, because they'll guide them that way. I've seen signs, do not follow GPS. I saw that just the other day, which they probably wouldn't let me put up because it's not in the manual of uniform traffic control devices. But yes, I've seen that. Do not follow GPS. Go left. I forgot where I was, but I did see that.
So they're trying, but.
Yes, they're trying to work, that some of these businesses are working with us. I gotta get permission from the state to put up some kind of sign. We gotta come up with a sign that meets criteria. So I'm trying to get an Rocky Hill Industrial Park. You can't just say Burris left. It's gotta be more generic than that. So I think it's gonna have to be Rocky Hill Industrial Park. Maybe we even have to put a sign down there at the end of Brook Street. That kinda identifies what it is, going down there. Even, it's not the whole thing, but
Are we getting complaints from West Street, cut through
No.
to Brook?
no. We don't have anything there. Like I said, most of
You
our
could take the
complaints
left
are
on- You can take the left on, is that Capitol Boulevard, I guess?
Capitol Boulevard. Yeah, that's one of them that has the sign, and they want it removed. So I have a letter from them. They call it a draft letter. Nothing seems to be final. And we met, and they said they're going to reissue a draft letter. I'm waiting on that. So I just want to make you guys aware of that, and some of these sticky situations, and we might have to reopen ordinances.
I think Mimi has a question.
Counselor Thoroza.
This is Mimi. Is there any appeal process from their denials?
None that I found. And I asked, and you know, they said, they didn't say yay or nay. And we did have, who was on with me? Was it Ken?
Rich.
Rich Roberts was on that call. So he kind of took the lead as we talked.
Any other questions for Steve? Pass it back to you. Keep going. Steve, thank you. And I guess you'll come back once you have,
Yeah, once I get
Final.
something from the state, we'll be back and, you know, maybe we could be talking, rewriting an ordinance. So,
thank you.
all right, thank you. Have a good holiday, Al.
You too. New business item 8C, discussion possible action, 2025 meeting dates.
Motion?
I'll take a motion if,
Move to approve the proposed schedule for 2025 meeting dates set forth in our packet.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Move on to the mayor's report. Moving quick.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for running the meeting this evening for me. I was stuck in New Haven traffic, which if any of you have been on Merritt construction traffic, it's a nightmare, but much needed. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. I wanted to take a minute and thank everyone in the community and actually folks even outside of our community who took the time to donate food and services and money to make the holiday special for a number of families in need in our communities. We are tremendously grateful for everything that you have done. Just a couple things I wanted to share with you. I was going through my notes. At our last CROG Policy Board meeting, we adopted CROG's POCD. And that's a really good document for us to start looking at, especially those who are working on our POCD, because it has lots of great examples and language. And I just wanted to put that out there. I also wanted to talk a little bit about leaf pickup. There has been some confusion, I think, on social media and elsewhere with respect to the late pickup. And so I just wanted to address that. We know that there are still leaves there and they're accumulating, but leaf pickup has not stopped. It's not going to stop. The leaves will get picked up. And there's really two reasons that we're seeing this happen this year, and a lot of it has to do with the weather. The leaves fell really late this year, and it's unusual, but the weather and climate has been unusual. And then, of course, we had rain. So it made it difficult to pick up the leaves. And so what we're seeing, these accumulations now so late in the season, is something that we're not used to seeing because usually the leaves fall a lot sooner. So I just want to reassure everybody out there that the leaves will get picked up. And you've probably seen trucks out recently. The other thing I want to address is there seems to be some misinformation that perhaps this is the result of a budget cut. It's not the result of a budget cut. So we don't have a line item specifically for leaf collection. We do have line items for services. That hasn't changed in 5 years. So again, what we're seeing with respect to the delay in leaf pickup, again, is just something that's sort of the result of when the leaves fell and some weather. But I want to thank everybody out there who did lots of raking, probably a couple of times. I know we certainly did. And I just want to assure you, do not worry. And I think that's it. Short and sweet.
Okay, mine's even shorter. Not much happening in the past week and a half over the vacation. I just want to follow up on the mayor's leaf report. In addition to the two items that the mayor mentioned about the delay, there were a couple other issues regarding some extra work that Public Works had to deal with. I had a staff meeting with them this morning, with staff. There was a collapsed catch basin over on Colbrook that they have to do an emergency repair on. They'll be doing that tomorrow. We had 3 machines working today. That will probably be reduced until they finish this repair, which will take about a day. Then they'll get back on the road and start picking up with a couple of trucks, but they also have to do their preparation for the storm that we may or may not get. Even if it's ice, they have to do, hopefully it's just like a frost, they can just do a salting, but if it's anything larger than that, they have to, prep for the plows, and so they're working on that while they're doing leaf pickup this time. They will implement what they call the claw. It's an excavator. They'll come around before the leaf vacuums come and pick up what they can, and then follow up with the vacuums. That will help reduce the time. And we're talking maybe another 2 weeks before they finish. And as usual, they always finish, and nothing will change according, as it goes to of picking up all the leaves. Even when it snows, they'll come back and do what they need to do. And also, as was discussed during public hearing, public comment, the form for the artistic crosswalk, it's not, I forget the actual name that we termed it, but public artwork. The form for the public artwork, along with the policy, has been posted on our website. It's been posted for about 3 weeks now. So if interested parties are wondering how to get to that, you get on the website and you click residence, I believe, the icon, and the forms will be there for you to fill out online, along with the policy, so everything is clear as to what's required. I don't anticipate anything happening over the winter for these parking lots and in the parks and sidewalks in the parks. And that's all I have.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.